All right, everyone. Let's talk about Apple's latest software drop, iOS 26.5 Beta 3. Now, if you're expecting a huge list of mind-blowing new features, well, you might want to hold on, because this one's a little different.
See, instead of packing in a bunch of new toys, Apple's gone all in on refinement here. This beta is really about getting under the hood and doing a major tune-up. We're talking bug fixes, smoothing out those little annoyances, and just making your iPhone feel solid again. It's less of a remodel and more of a really, really good deep clean.
So you're probably thinking, okay, if there are no big flashy features, why should I even care? And you know what? That's a totally fair question. But honestly, these are the kinds of updates that often make the biggest difference in how your phone feels to use every single day.
Okay, so let's pop the hood and get into the nuts and bolts of what's actually inside iOS 26.5 Beta 3.
For all you tech heads out there who love the specifics, the build number is 23F5059E. And just as a quick refresher, a beta is basically a sneak peek. It's what Apple sends out to developers and testers so they can kick the tires, find any bugs, and give feedback before it goes out to the world. And with this build, the mission is crystal clear: make iOS more reliable.
So, even though this isn't a feature palooza, there are still a few things you can actually see and touch. Let's look at the tangible changes and new options you'll spot once you update.
First up, something you'll notice right away. When you open certain apps for the first time after updating, you'll get these new welcome screens. They don't really change how the apps work, but they're kind of like little billboards from Apple, pointing you towards Formula One in the TV app or just reminding you that the App Store is a safe and trusted place.
But if we dig a little deeper, there are some pretty neat little tweaks. In Apple Maps, the icons for search categories like restaurants and gas have a fresh look, making them easier to spot at a glance. Oh, and this is a good one for Apple Watch users, a new alarm toggle that lets you force it to always play on iPhone. And, this is a big one, end-to-end encryption for RCS messaging is back in testing. RCS is that modern messaging standard Android uses, so this is a huge step for making those green bubble chats way more secure.
And speaking of Android, in a move that's maybe a little surprising, Apple is making it easier to leave. If you decide to switch to an Android phone, you now get way more control. You can choose to transfer all your messages, just the last year, the last 30 days, or none at all. It's a small thing, but it's a really nice quality of life touch.
Okay, but let's be real. The main event of this update, the whole reason it exists, is the bug squashing. This is where Beta 3 absolutely shines, by tackling some of those super frustrating glitches from the last version.
And the first one you're going to notice for sure is the unlock animation. If you were on Beta 2, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That jumpy, jittery feeling when you swiped up. It just felt off. Well, good news, it's fixed. It's back to being buttery smooth, just like it should be.
And the fixes just keep on coming. Live activities, especially for sports scores, were lagging behind, but now they update in real time again, thank goodness. That notification delay some people were getting, that's been dealt with. Using text to Siri is way faster now. It actually keeps up with you. And Spotlight search is back to being snappy and giving you the right suggestions. See, these are the kinds of fixes that just make your whole phone feel better to use.
Now, some of the biggest improvements in Beta 3 are things you can't actually see with your eyes. But trust me, you are going to feel them. We're talking about some serious tuning up of the engine. First up, there's a modem update. Now that might sound super technical, but all it really means is that Apple pushed a software fix to the little chip inside your phone that handles your cell signal, your 5G, your LTE, and your Wi-Fi. The goal is simple: make your connection more stable and reliable, which, let's face it, is probably the most important thing your phone does.
And you can actually see the difference in the numbers. When we look at CPU benchmark scores, which are basically a stress test for the phone's brain, there's a really clear jump from Beta 2. These higher single-core and multi-core scores tell us the phone is just running plain smarter and more efficiently.
But, benchmarks are just numbers. What does it actually feel like? Well, this quote from Zolatech really nails it. He says it's much faster, much smoother overall. And that's the whole point, right? The phone doesn't just do better on a test, it feels snappier when you're just swiping around and opening apps. That's the real win here.
Okay, so after hearing about all these fixes and speed boosts, the big question is, when can I get my hands on it? Let's take a look at the likely timeline for when this rolls out to everybody. Now, this is just an educated guess, based on Apple's typical patterns. But here's what the road ahead probably looks like. We'll likely see a Beta 4 drop around April 27th. Then, the release candidate, or RC, which is pretty much the final version, should land around May 4th.
And if everything goes according to plan, the official public release for all of us should be around May 11th.
And that kind of brings us to a bigger, more interesting question. Think about it. Why is Apple so obsessed with polish and stability right now, right before they're about to unveil the next big thing, iOS 27? It really makes you wonder, are they just cleaning house? Or are they building an absolutely rock-solid foundation because something huge is on the horizon?